Got rid of us? Nope. We back for some more MMA news and gossip.
The
Here we go.
back.
What we got, Chris? What's on the docket?
Okay, first things first. We talked about earlier in the beginning podcast about the Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley, but this is the fight that keeps on giving. The gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, I know, dude.
Okay.
We could have, literally the whole podcast could have been about that one fight.
Okay, next up we can talk about, because we know this fight was really big, and we know that Jake Paul is advocate for fighters' pay. So pay was a big time thing with what they're talking about with Dana White going back and forth about Willie, saying that that's bullshit about what the money and all that. So the numbers are in, guys. The numbers are in, guys. Here's the numbers. First of all, I'm gonna go with this headline real quick. Tyron Woodley quadruples biggest UFC salary with multi-million-dollar fight purse. So
Wow.
Here's what the numbers. Okay, the most Tyron Woodley ever got paid per fight in the UFC when he was a champion was $500,000 per title fight. After he lost to
Was that a win-win or what was that, just flat 500?
flat.
Okay.
And once he lost to Usman, it went from 500 to 200,000.
So I just want to say, I'm sorry, Chris, just a pause for our MMA, for the fans who don't really know about Fight Pay. How it's going on in MMA is usually you have a win bonus. So it's called win-win. So you just to fight, you get your base pay, you get the 500,000 just to fight, and then when you win, you get more money. If you lose, you don't get the money. And there's also something called a performance of the night, where it's an extra 50,000, sometimes more. But if you get the performance of the night, then you get like $50,000 extra. But like usually, way back in the day, it was like a win-win was like 25,000. Like you to fight is 25,000 you get, and then to win you get an extra 25,000, so 50,000 in total. But continue.
And on top of that, if you're a champion, you get pay-per-view buys. If you're a headline, you get pay-per-view buys, which is undisclosed until the end. And also, throughout, Dana White has known, and the UFC has been known, to hand guys money in wallet and envelopes after the fight, undisclosed amount of money.
Yeah, just give him money. So, good job.
Give him money. Okay. So he was getting 500,000 per title fight until he lost the title. Then he was getting 200,000. Like after he lost to Usman, he was getting 200,000 per fight. So this celebrity boxing match or boxing fight, whatever you want to call it, Tyron Woodley and Jake Paul both got $2 million per for this fight, and that's
$2 million,
and that's not counting
pay-per-view.
That's not counting pay-per-view, and that's not counting the promotional train.
Yeah,
like
advertisements.
When they go promote the fight and all that, they get paid for that too. So $2 million. $2 million alone. Yes. $2 million alone for the fight alone is freaking phenomenal, especially when you think about this.
It's better than the only person who's touching that in UFC. I mean, Conor McGregor, of course. There's a few others. There's like 2 or 3 people. But John Jones. John Jones.
Israel. So
yeah.
Yeah, and all of those are champions. These 2 guys wasn't champions at all. As a matter of fact, both of these guys are amateur boxers.
Yeah, that was Tyron Woodley's first boxing match, and Paul's fourth.
Yeah, so they got $2 million for this fight, which multiplies anything else what they got in UFC. So that was for them. Now there's a huge discrepancy between the main event and the co-main. The co-main event, this Amanda Serrano, who's arguably the top 3 best female boxers in the game right now, top 3. She got paid $75,000 for her decision win over the Mexican Mauler. So there's still a huge discrepancy, but let's be honest, people pay to watch Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley. Only problem is if Jake, if you want to talk about fighters pay, there's a huge discrepancy.
Let's talk about this for a while. Like that, I always get the brunt of on my take on this, but okay, as an athlete, there's two things. An athlete is someone who's better than everyone else at a certain sport or a certain whatever it is. If you're like a professional athlete, let's say tennis because it's one person. You're the best tennis player in the world. You play one-on-one matches, you beat everyone. Gotcha. You're the greatest athlete. 2, okay, this is totally different, is money. The greatest paid athletes, who we have a list now, Forbes released. Conor McGregor's number 1, but you have Ronaldo, Messi, LeBron James. Those are the people who put butts into seats, who sell
Yes.
products, who
Yes.
that they're making the money. LeBron James, who's doing Space Jam, who's doing God knows a million other things for Lakers and whatnot. People always conflate the
Yes.
two. They're like, just because you're the greatest athlete does not make you should be the greatest paid athlete or the highest paid
Yes.
athlete. A lot of people get that confused, and I just want to be on the same page. Just because you're the greatest athlete doesn't mean that you're entitled to be the most highest paid athlete. So
Yes. In combat sports is one of the only sports where you don't have to be the best to get paid the most.
correct,
You got to be the best seller.
correct.
You got to be good. You got to be really good, but you got to be the best
You
seller.
got to be able
But
to win your fights. Gotcha. Okay, but no one knows who the greatest MMA and UFC and all this was. The whole question was, what's the greatest martial art? What can beat, or who's the greatest martial artist, or whatnot? And we found that out. In UFC 1 was Horace Gracie. Horace Gracie was the greatest MMA fight, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It won. It won, and it continued
yes,
to win. But then it started evolving more. It started being
yes,
like, okay, well, if we mix wrestling with boxing, we get this person. Oh God, they're really, really good. Or if we mix Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with a good Muay Thai, we get this person, Anderson Silva, who destroys everyone. Like,
I'm
so
glad you mentioned. I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's go. Okay, Horace Gracie proved that BJJ was a top sport and he was submitting everybody.
mm-hmm.
But the big paid guy was Ken Shamrock because he had the look, he had the
Entertainment.
size,
And dude,
he
you
had
know
the
where he
sell.
went to get most of his money?
WWE.
WWE. And don't tell me that's not. He literally was paying money, and he also went over to Japan. I think he
Yes.
was Japan or something like that. But
And King of Pancrase.
King of Pancrase. Now, do you know what that was all about? I didn't know. Like, Pancrase was actually real wrestling, but in a fake environment. Does that make any sense?
Okay.
Right.
Pancrase. Okay, here's what Pancrase was. Pancrase was MMA, but you can hit with a closed fist.
Yep. And it was
You can
basically
slap.
wrestling. Like, it was
Yeah. Yeah, you can slap. You can slap and grapple and do everything. It was pretty much pro wrestling, but you can strike, but you
But
can
it
slap.
wasn't it was real. It was I would argue MMA. It was more
Yes, it
MMA
was.
than pro
It
wrestling.
was. It was
But
100%,
it had the
100% MMA.
shtick of pro wrestling. Like,
It was 100% MMA. You just couldn't hit with a closed fist.
it was like MMA and pro wrestling had a baby, and that's what Pancrase was.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Okay, let me just briefly go over the payouts for this fight. Okay, the co-main event: Amanda Serrano, 75,000. Yamili Mercado, 45,000. Daniel Dubois, 100,000 versus Joe Cosimo, 111. Montano Love, 60. Evan Barancic, 60. Tommy Fury, 15,000.
What?
Anthony Taylor, 40,000.
Whoa! No! We can't glaze that over. 15,000? Is that
15,
true? Is that like?
Yes, 15,000. And Anthony Taylor, who's not even a boxer, 40,000. Anthony Taylor he trained with Jake Paul, and Jake Paul was over this. So Jake Paul took care of his boy.
That's Fury. That's Fury being like, okay, I don't even care about. I'll get paid nothing this fight. It's all about the next fight. He's looking for that next fight, like, and he's $1 million payout.
Yes, and Anthony Taylor, the only reason why he got paid 40 because this was Anthony Taylor's first pro boxing fight. He was an MMA guy. Only reason why he got paid that because this was Jake Paul's card, and Jake Paul hooked up his boy because he came in and helped train.
Yep.
And,
but I mean, so reading out those numbers, I gotta be honest, dude. They're not like when we're fighting. Like, I was expecting everyone to get 100,000. Like, why is there such a discrepancy?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's the thing. When you read between the lines, if fighters pay thing that Jake Paul talks about, come on, Jake. There's a huge discrepancy.
Okay, well, since we're talking about fighter pay, did you hear what Tyron Woodley said about fighter pay?
When
he was talking to Jake Paul? First of all, he was like, Jake Paul's a snake. Like, he doesn't even care about anything that he's saying. But he said basically, like, fighters, we're fighting each other. Like, when you have a fight, you don't like the other person. Like, I'm going to physically hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
And to make those guys, like, but he had not a nuanced view on it. He was like, because we're fighting, we're never going to agree. Like, I want the most money. Like, that's the whole point, is I'm getting the most money, and that's it. There's no other person. It's a contract. So,
Yes.
but my argument with that is Tyron Woodley. Okay, let's say you make the most money. You make 10 million, 100 million, and no one
Mhm.
makes any other money. You need other people to fight with. Like
Yes, you do. You do.
it's not just a one-person sport. It's a two-person sport at a minimum. So
It's 100 a two-person sport, and that's also was yeah. Here's the thing with the fighter pay too is one thing that's not put out there. Okay, of course they said Jake Paul 2 million, Top Run 2. But this was under a promotion of Jake Paul. So Jake Paul was getting double. He was getting money as a promotion guy, and he's getting money as like it was co-promoted with what is Jake Paul's promotion called? It's called
Thriller?
no. It's called
Time?
give me 1 second.
Oh, he his own like McGregor promotions or
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah. So he was getting money from that side too. So it's not as equal as Willie. So but the thing about it too is sure these guys got paid, but that's still a huge discrepancy.
There is, dude. There's a huge discrepancy.
Someone getting paid 15,000, and there was a guy on here that got paid.
But again, you can. I'll be the asshole and whatnot. Who's putting the butts in the seats?
Right, Tommy. Okay,
Tommy Fury. No. Tommy Fury didn't put the butts in the seats. I'll tell you that right now. It was Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley put the butts in the seats.
So was it Anthony Taylor?
A lot of money. They did. So
was it Anthony Taylor?
No. Who's Anthony Taylor?
That's my point.
Conor McGregor. What? Who the fuck is that guy? Like,
you want me to tell you who Anthony Taylor is? A guy that got paid 25,000 more than Tommy Fury.
Correct, which is ridiculous. But with that, you got to argue that's all your fault because that's your manager or whoever's making the contracts for you. Like, dude, 15,000, you should be at least getting 100,000. I don't know what the heck that was about. But.
And off of Fury's last name alone.
Yeah,
he should get paid. Like no one knows Anthony Taylor. And Taylor, it was his first fight. Tommy Fury was on reality TV.
Yeah.
And he was on this. So like if Jake Paul really cared, he wouldn't let a guy on his card get paid under 20, under 30 at least.
Yeah,
but anyways.
Paul's excuse could be like he's not the one paying the paycheck. Like he's taking up with the company type of thing.
So pull a Dana White.
Yeah, pull a Dana White. But at the same time, you could put. So Dana White is the person who pays the check, who writes the check. So you can't be like, Dana White can't be like, I want to pay the fighters more. Okay, then pay them more. You're the one writing the checks. Paul can be like, no, pay the fighters more because he's a fighter. So
okay, Dana is not the one signing writing the checks, but Dana White is the figurehead.
Dana White? Let's just say Dana White is worth over $500 million. Like if he wanted to have the fighters get paid more, he could pay the fighters more if he wanted to.
It's what out of his check, and he ain't gonna do that.
He ain't gonna do that. No one's gonna do
it. What is it? MMG?
How messed up is that he sold the company? Like him and the Fertitta brothers had a stake in the company. All these fighters had zero stake. He sold it, him and the Fertitta brothers, and got boku money. Like boku. None of the fighters saw any of that money. Zero.
No.
And they're the ones who do the sport. So
what is it? What is it? MME? MMG? What is it? That
MMEG or IMMG or something like that.
See, those are who's signing the checks.
Yeah, well, that signs Hollywood's checks too. So
yeah, so that's what it's.
You know, all these actors got into it are stake owners in and UFC because of MMG or IMMG or whatever it is. So like Mark Wahlberg owns some of UFC.
I bet, man. So okay, that's no fighters pay. What's the next topic, brother?
Next, we got the Twitter war between McGregor, who's Conor McGregor. I've never heard of the guy, but Conor McGregor and someone named Nate Diaz are in a Twitter spat.
Yes, these guys here. They're trying.
Dude, talk about clout. You know what clout is? They're just clout chasers. All of them, every single one of them. Like they just want clout.
All of these guys are clout chasers. All these guys are trying to go. They're trying to sell and go for the fight.
Let's be honest. Diaz is super smart. Like for being so stupid, he's so smart. Like he knows that fighting has nothing to do with fighting. Like, he's realized that. I think he really, way back when, I think he thought, like, wait a second, fighting's all about fighting. But there was something that clicked on him that was like, dude, it doesn't matter if I fight well or if I don't fight well, as long as I make it entertaining and I get paid a lot. That's all that matters. And same thing with Nick Diaz. They realize that. They
Well,
just care about their next fight getting paid the most money.
yes. Well, they the thing about it, the people that really gets it, the people that really gets it, they show personality. They get people like, and the Diaz brothers always been polarizing people and polarizing
I think
personalities.
let's pause. I think the Diaz brothers show personality, but it's not fake. That's real. That's them. Like, that's 100% Nate Diaz, Nick Diaz being themselves. People like Colby Covington, people like Chael Sonnen, people like John Jones. Those people, it's fake. Like, they're trying to fake a personality. They're trying to do something, and that's, you can see it, dude. Like, I think that's why people respect Nate. But the same thing with Connor. I don't think Connor's faking it. I think that's how he really is. And do you know how I know that's how he really is? Because of all his freaking trouble with the law. Every other month, something is wrong with him in the law, whether he's punching old guys or suspected of sexual assault or this or that.
Okay.
Like,
All right, let me go over the tweets real quick.
okay.
Okay. There was a face-off with Conor McGregor. I think this looks like the second fight of Conor McGregor Diaz, but they both facing off. Diaz is like this, Conor standing up. Conor put out a tweet. Now add 30 pounds of muscle on me and say ding ding in a Dublin accent, right?
Okay.
So
That's a PG tweet. Okay.
So Nate replied back, bro.
Wait,
You
did
can't
he tag Nate in it?
Huh?
Did he tag Nate in it?
No.
Okay.
No, so Nate replied back, bruh, you can't walk or fight right now. Why are you talking shit? Then he put an emoji with a thumb on it and said we talk later. And then it had a fist print. Okay. Then Connor replied back, who can't come through and see you with little skinny fool? Use little skinny fool. You be smacked and rolled up, you bum. Callie's mine. Callie's mine.
That bad. That wasn't that bad.
Callie's mine. And then he put then Nate put out a tweet. Don't forget Cabal was scared as hell of me and he beat your ass and finished you off. And don't forget DP, Dustin Poirier, scared of me also, but he beat your ass and finished you too. You're all pussies. Then Connor replied back saying, he fled the cage and I boxed his whole family around. And nobody finished me, mate. I broke my leg. No one or nothing else done anything to me.
No one finished you, Conor McGregor? I believe Khabib, literally tapped with Khabib, but okay.
Khabib finished. No one or nothing else done anything to me. And Nate submitted you also.
Nate also submitted, and Dustin Poirier literally finished you, but okay.
Okay. No one or nothing else done anything to me in any way. Don't worry about them. I'm here in Cali months doing what I want. It's 3 on the street now, mate. Fuck your little sport. 3 on the street meaning 3 gunshots. That's what that means.
Yeah.
And then Nate replied back, it's just business, remember? You're the sportsman. I showed you guys this street shit. I fought both your teams out of the cage before any you guys realized the real fight came. Sporty little bitches. And then
I gotta be honest, Nate's winning. Like, Nate won that.
And then Connor put, I'm on a hair trigger, mate. You stay where you are in hiding. If you know what's good for you, bro. God bless your kid. Have a good day. Hair trigger, mate. So he's talking about shooting a guy.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Connor said, fuck the whole city. I am. Bye. Gorilla, bye. Then they said, fuck you. So now,
fuck you.
so now Nate put out.
Nate's right. Everything Nate said was correct, and then Connor lied a lot. Like, that was like.
So now Nate put, nah, bitch, you should have learned how to not break your leg when I check your shit and you crushed out of the fight with me, and how you gonna fight me when you can't run for your life this time with your broken ass. You lost the last fight and ran for the hills just like Khabib. You're a pussy too. Then he put, that means I'm the double triple champ. of this whole shit. Fuck all you pussies. Then he put, P.S. You jump ship on your country, bitch. Go home. Don't you got any friends? Then he put, I ended this guy's career. LOL. What happened to him? Get him back here. You need some help. And why you just throw your friends away, shithead? And he put, I'll fight you in 4 years when you're healed up. Then he put, and you're dead. Okay. And then I guess Connor put, you little cockroach, Diaz brother. It's 3 on site. Grab the heat. Come on, Connor.
Man, Connor needs to stop with the freaking like gun innuendo and the gang stuff. Like, yes. Dude, Diaz isn't saying that. Like, if you look, Diaz has not once said he was gonna shoot him, or Diaz is being honest. Diaz is saying, dude, go back to your country. Like, you have no friends here. Like, you're.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm a huge Conor McGregor fan. You probably couldn't tell from this podcast, but Nate killed it on that. Like, he did so well. Like,
oh, and there's more come from Conor. Then Conor put, it's none of that hitting arms and commentary screaming with me. It's silence and holes in the head.
Oh my god.
Then Conor put bones heal, blunt force trauma to the brain, not so much. He put a picture of him elbowing Diaz to the head.
Definitely messed Diaz's brain up a little bit.
Then he put another picture of him hitting Diaz with the left. You taking everything I work for, motherfucker. Ha ha hee ha. Well, then work harder, you little cockroach.
That's a good one.
And then Nate put out a post of Khabib choking Poirier in the rear naked, right?
Yeah.
Poirier put out a post saying he's an undisputed lightweight champion, right?
Yeah.
Which was weird because in a Woodley fight, last Woodley fight, they announced Poirier as an undisputed lightweight champion, right?
That is a little weird, yeah.
The lightweight champion. So Poirier put undisputed lightweight champion as a quote saying that he is. So Nate put Khabib choking out Poirier, and he put undisputed choke artist. Poirier.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. So
the only thing, Nate's killing it. Like, Nate literally won that exchange easy. Like, that was easy. But saying that, Nate, you need a fight and you need a win. Like, you could talk all you want. Both of them remind me of the old Muppets, those old men Muppets that just comment on everything, but they're too old and senile and stupid to, like, they just comment. And that's Nate and Connor. They just, I'm the best. I do this. Dude, Connor, look at your last 3 fights. And Nate, look at your last fight. Like, you guys talk all you want. They need to fight each other. I say they just fight each other for the next 3-4 years. Just once a year, they fight. Like,
yes, and Nate haven't won in forever.
Nope. It's because of his fighting style. Like, he has a very pressuring. He's a Nick Diaz, but without the Nick Diaz. I don't know how to word it. Nate is easy to beat. All you do is chop his legs. That's it. Or wrestle him. You should chop his legs and wrestle him. That's it. Like, and then you can beat him. But
okay, Nate. Let's go over Nate 1, 2, 3, last 5 fights. Oh, I'll go 6. Okay. He beat Anthony Johnson in 2015. He beat Conor McGregor in March of 2016.
Yep.
So that's a 6 month. Then he lost to Conor McGregor in August of 2016. He beat Anthony Pettis in August of 2019. And he lost that,
and I don't remember, but yeah.
You don't remember the Anthony Pettis fight?
I do remember it, but I don't like it. Wasn't like a big like, whoa, he won. Like,
oh, that was a sloppy one. That was a pretty good one. Okay, then he lost by TKO stoppage to Jorge Masvidal in 2019. Then close to 2 years later, he lost to Leon Edwards. So inactivity. So he needs to win. So after a while, if you keep losing, there's only so much you can say.
Yeah, and that's fine. They got another year or 2 years before Connor can sit pretty now, being like, I'm healing, let me heal, and Nate can sit pretty like, hey, I'm Nate Diaz, you know. But after a while, people are gonna stop listening when you're losing all the time. So,
all right, cool. So,
I think we had one more thing, right?
Yeah, let's go one last thing since we're in the lightweight. Justin Gaethje has a lot to say about Charles Oliveira.
Yeah, he does.
He had a lot to say, and here's what he talked about. And this is because Charles Oliveira just beat Michael Chandler for the belt.
Yep.
Jason Gaethje is currently about to fight Michael Chandler for potentially a number one slot for the belt, a number one shot.
Great. On the greatest one of the greatest cards of UFC history.
I'm one of the greatest cards. And here's what Gaethje had to say about Charles Oliveira being the champion and winning the belt. I thought this was the most coveted title in the UFC when Khabib was around, and it was turned into almost a laughingstock of the UFC overnight. Gaethje told ESPN Farrell Hunan, when you had Charles Oliveira and Michael Chandler fighting each other for the title to be the best, when those two weren't the best fighting for the belt, it was me and Poirier who should have been fighting for the belt, number one and number two. That's what should have happened. Okay, Gaethje, just I'm going off the record. Gaethje, you just lost to Khabib. You got to finish.
So we'll pause. We'll continue that, but think about that. Dustin Poirier, what was he doing? He was fighting Conor McGregor. And they offered him the championship or whatnot, and he said no. Let me fight Conor McGregor. Okay, and then you just lost to Khabib, literally, like really recently. Like, so it's not like what does he want? Like.
And also, too, Chandler was offered to Gaethje for the belt, but Gaethje turned it down. Gaethje didn't want to fight Chandler. Gaethje didn't want to fight Chandler initially.
Yep. And now he does. So it's like,
he didn't want to fight Chandler initially. How Chandler was coming over, he wanted to fight a more respectable belt. But Chandler was a company guy, and Chandler fought Oliveira for the belt. So that's Gaethje who chose not to fight Chandler initially. So
correct.
So that accountability is key. So then he said, as soon as Poirier fights Oliveira beats him and really solidifies himself as the best. Right now, he's not the best. Gaethje continued. Right now, he still has some quit in him, and he hasn't been tested by the best guys. I think Chandler did do that, but it's a very favorable matchup for Oliveira. So we'll see. We'll see how he handles Poirier. I can't give him credit now, but if he goes out there and beats Poirier, I have no other choice but to give him the respect he deserves.
I mean, he's wrong. So I don't know what to
yes, he is.
He's completely wrong. He's trying to manifest or manipulate like himself into believing what he's saying, but he's wrong. He's wrong. What's reality is he's fighting Michael Chandler. And if he beats Michael Chandler, then he can talk all the shit he wants. He can be like, yes, I'm the next, I should be the champion, blah, 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 blah. But until then, you had a chance. Like, you turned down a Michael Chandler fight before. Dustin Poirier turned down a fight with you. Like, and now you're saying they're not the real champions because they didn't fight us. You said they turned down. What are they supposed to do? Like,
yes. And too, here's the thing that gets me. Okay, guys like Jan Blachowicz and Charles Oliveira deserve all the respect in the world for being champion because they did it the long and the hard way.
Yep, correct.
They wasn't gifted anything. They did it the long and the hard way. Freaking Duke Brosman fighting in the UFC since he was like 18, 19.
And he went from 145 to 155. Like,
yes. And
he did not the long way. He did the long way. Like,
he did the long way, and he earned what he got. And winning that belt, he earned it in that fight.
Yeah, he did.
He earned the fight.
That third round was dicey. He won that first second pretty easy, but that no. It
was only one round. It went to the second, and he finished him in the second.
Yeah. That first round was dicey, I should say, because
it was so much. Yeah. Listen, it was so much like in that. Okay, Michael Chandler and Charles Oliveira, Nick Diaz, and Paul Simtek Daly. Those were the two most eventful first rounds I've ever seen in my life. It's so much drama went in those two first rounds.
You're so right.
It's so insane. So
I mean, I would argue. We're going back, but the Pride, the Mustachio versus what's his name?
Don Fry?
Yeah, Don Fry versus whatever. When
that big Asian dude?
Yeah, just punched each other in the head.
That big Asian dude?
That was pretty insane. But no, I agree.
That was Rock'em Sock'em Robot.
Paul Daly versus Nick Diaz is like ridiculous. That fight was absurdly entertaining. Like the way Nick Diaz just because you could tell Paul Daly was like, I'm gonna kill this guy. I'm literally gonna kill him. But the moment Nick hit him with like a good body shot, Paul Daly was a different fight. He was like, oh shoot, this is actually a fight. And then Nick just destroyed him.
that fight was phenomenal, man. It was really phenomenal.
Yeah, I
So
want to watch that fight. I'm gonna watch that when we're on.
yeah, it's only one round. So check it out, man.
I know
It was really good. That was a really good fight. So that's all I have for that. Well, how I feel about that is, as I mentioned, Gaethje, you right now you're a loser. You need to win. You lost your last fight. You turned down that fight with Chandler when he came up in, and you paid for it and you waited. So
he's just like I said, dude. He's just trying to trick himself into believing this narrative, like how Charles Oliveira more than deserves the gym, like more than deserves, like.
yes,
So don't even.
yes,
He's fronting like so bad, like. And then
no,
you
yes,
got
he
Michael
is.
Chandler, who yes, he's had not that many fights in the UFC, but he has a freaking Bellator, dude. Like and don't tell me if he loses to Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje has a lot of shit he needs to eat, like eat that he
Yeah,
said, like.
yeah, he got a
So
lot of crow. He does. So
yeah, so we'll see.
uh,
But I mean,
that's
Justin
it.
Gaethje's legit. He's really good. You know who I feel bad for? Like we'll end it on this, I guess. But Tony Ferguson, dude, man, how the mighty have fallen. Jeez. 2 fights in a row just being destroyed like by these new guys,
Oh,
and you're like,
oh
game
man,
over.
just
Like you don't even discuss Tony. Tony was like literally, we were like, dude, he's him and Khabib. We're literally like, who's number one, who's
yes.
number two? Oh, Tony Khabib, Tony Khabib, Tony Khabib.
Mhm.
Like it's like now Khabib's retired. Tony's like, what is he ranked? Under 5, like 6, 7. I don't even know.
Yeah, in the way he's losing is
Al
bad.
Capri. And he looks, yeah, and the way he's losing 5th round KO where he looks like he's giving up. He's like, no, please, no more. Like, and then he gets what was the other one? Uh he
It's
lost
so bad.
to
It,
Oliveira
yeah, Oliveira.
by was it decision?
Uh, I think it was a decision because he fought through that submission with his arm bar. Yeah, it was a
Oh
decision.
yeah, I remember that. Almost getting his arm broke. How was his arm not broke? I think it was. I think he
I
did
think it
break.
was. I think it was. So
He's just too tough. But okay, Mr. McNeil, this
yep.
is some illuminating gossip. We got some McNeil, some McGregor, Diaz, some Justin Gaethje, some payout information.
Yes. So yeah.
I love the gossip. I love the gossip. We'll see if you guys like this gossip corner. We can actually make a little gossip corner MMA. We can make a sports gossip. There's so much gossip in sports. It's
So much.
ridiculous.
So much.
You know?
So much.
Like literally, like this bet, even the Ben Simmons thing that we talked about previously. That's kind of gossip. Like that's.
It is. It
So.
is.
But McNeil, I
All
love
right.
you, bro. The
I
real
love you
MMA
too, brother.
bros. You got Otisech come on this side. You got Christopher McNeil on that side. We're the real MMA bros. Wonder Twin powers activate. That's a little late. I mean, we're activating our powers at the end, but
Yes. Well. Now you're gonna address me as the future fantasy football champion. So just address me,
oh
okay?
my
Okay.
god!
So
You address the king because I'm the king currently as the king. Like,
okay.
I'm
Okay.
the champ. So until I'm dethroned, I am the champ. But
All right,
hey,
brother.
guys, we love it. We're out. Peace and love.
All right.